With Pokemon Go Fest 2024 officially behind us, we are going to go through my biggest pros, cons, and takeaways from Pokemon Go Fest 2024. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. But before we get into it, I want to show you guys what I actually managed to get from my Pokemon Go Fest 2024 haul, which, just so you guys know, I did not record at all during Pokemon Go Fest. The entire event was live streamed on both days. So if you guys want to check out the entire live streams and my full event, be sure to check out the videos, which will be linked down in the description down below. I will say I streamed for 8 hours on Saturday and about 6.5 to 7 hours on Sunday, so they are very long. If you want to check them out, cool, great, I appreciate it. If not, I understand. But here is a quick little recap what I actually ended up getting during Pokemon Go Fest. We ended up getting 65 total shinies. I think it's actually 64. There might be a Pokemon in here that I got the night before Pokemon Go Fest, but we'll see. We got 1 shiny Pidgey. We got 5 total shiny Pikachus, which, just so you guys know, I did buy the $15 ticket, so this is increased shiny odds. 14 of the shiny Pikachus are the Moon Crown Pikachus, and one of them was the Sun Crown Pikachu, so we got at least one of each, so I'm very happy about that. We got 1 shiny Eevee, 2 pink Gumby Worm Dratinis, 2 Hoppips, a shiny Gligar, 2 normal Sneasels, a shiny Teddiursa, a shiny Mudkip, a Wingull, 2 shiny Volbeats, and 2 shiny Illumizes, which both of those are brand new shinies to me. We got a shiny Carvanha. Now that shiny Seviper I ended up getting the night before Pokemon Go Fest, so that one doesn't count. We got a shiny Lunatone, which again was brand new to me. 4 shiny Sunburnt Solrocks. Don't ask me how. 2 shiny Venopedes, which are brand new to me. 3 shiny Cottonees, and 6 shiny Ducklets. Brand new shiny to me. I have way too much. I have bargaining chips when it comes to trading now, because I officially have 6 of them. 2 shiny Amogus, which again brand new to me. A shiny Litwick, 2 Axews, a Galarian Stunfisk, a brand new shiny Golett, which is brand new to me. A shiny Durant that I named Kevin. It is Kevin Durant, brand new shiny to me. 2 shiny Dinos, a shiny Esper, which is the male gender, I believe so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the opposite gender of the one I already have, so I have both shiny genders now, which I'm very happy about. I got one of my all-time favorite shinies in Tyrunt, which I'm super excited about. That was one of my biggest hunts during the entire event. A shiny extra small Phantump, which again, one of my biggest hunts during Go Fest, brand new shiny to me. 2 shiny Young Gooses, 6 shiny Crabrawlers. Don't ask me about that one. 2 shiny Fomantises, a shiny Xurkitree, which is brand new to me, and 2 shiny Necrozmas, which only one of them I actually obtained myself. The other one was through a lucky trade, which, let me be honest, I'm a little pissed off about this guaranteed lucky trade. Look at those IVs. The floor IV stats for lucky is 12, 12, 12. I got a 13, 12, 12. Not too happy about it, but you know, it is what it is. I got 2 total shinies now, so that way I can have both fusions officially fused, so that's kind of cool. Not upset about it, but it is what it is. Overall, pretty good shiny haul, if I do say so myself. But now, I did get a hundo during Pokemon Go Fest, and that was a Moon Crown Pikachu, which, I mean, it's rare, but like, it's not useful. It can't even evolve. It maxes out at 1060 CP. Not useful whatsoever. But on a much better note than that useless hundo, I got a Nundo as well, which was a Spinarak. You'll love to see it. Nundos are more rare than hundos. You'll love to see it, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, that was my haul from Pokemon Go Fest 2024. 64 total shinies, 1 hundo, a Nundo. Can't really complain too much, but we are going to do a little bit of complaining in this video because we're going over pros, cons, and takeaways from Pokemon Go Fest. So before we get into all of the bad stuff, we're going to go over the pros first. So one of my actual favorite pros for the entire Go Fest was the fact that we could catch the Ultra Beast and Necrozma in Beast Balls. One of my biggest griefs with Pokemon Go Fest and any big event is having to try to struggle and take the time to actually catch a legendary Pokemon after you knock it out of a raid, because it takes so much time from you catching, moving on to future raids. It's a very tedious thing. With these Beast Balls, it made it so insanely easy to catch the 5-star raid Pokemon. Like, it was so easy. Like, the only time, every single raid I was catching on either like the first ball or the second ball, and I wasn't even using golden raspberries. I was using pineapple berries to get more candy. Like, I didn't even have to use golden raspberries. It made it so much easier. I loved it. Another one of my favorite things was the rotating field research every single hour on Saturday. It kept it nice, fresh, gave us a bunch of field research encounters, which gave really good opportunities to get shundos, to get shinies from research, get really good IVs, which I obviously didn't because I only got one hundo. But the fact of the matter is, every single hour it gave a new field research for the habitats. I absolutely love that, and plus it is also really beneficial for people in smaller communities who don't have like a lot of Pokestops around them, so that way they actually have a rotating amount of field research for them to do to keep them going and keep them active for the entire 8-hour event. Another thing I really liked was the raid turnaround times. Like, raids were popping left and right. I believe they were only in raids for like 15-20 minutes at a time, and as soon as that raid was over, within like less than 5 minutes a new raid would instantly pop. Like, you were going all over the place. If you watch my live streams, I was going from raid to raid to raid to raid with almost no in-between time because of how fast these raids were popping. It was actually a really good time doing all these raids, honestly, but we'll get into raids and the cons here in a second. We'll talk about that I'm not very happy about. Now, a very underrated feature that I think was featured in this Pokemon Go Fest was the party play. And the reason I say that is because the party play was actually giving very easy tasks to complete research and get a bunch of encounters. Like, I was getting Pikachus left and right. That's exactly how I got the 5 shiny Pikachus and the hundo, was from party play. Because the tasks, like I said, were insanely easy, and they would give you encounters with the costume Pikachus. It was actually, I knew of several people who actually got the hundo Pikachus and a bunch of shinies specifically from party play, so if you didn't utilize party play, you missed out there. And one of my favorite things about the event was it felt like shiny rates were actually good for the wild spawns. Like, I got 64 shinies in the 2-day event. Like, that was really good if you ask me. I think after day 1 I had 30 something, and then the second day I was focused more on raiding because of Dawn Wings and Duskmane were actually in raids. Overall, the wild spawn rates and stuff like that for shinies was actually felt really good as far as the ticketed experience goes. I don't necessarily know how it felt for the free-to-play users. I'm pretty sure, as far as I know, it was base odds, but I could be wrong. But enough about the pros. Let's get into what was really bad about the event. Let's get into these cons. One of the biggest griefs for the entire Go Fest was the catch rates were so bad for some of these wild spawns. Like Maractus, for one, couldn't even be shiny. That thing wasn't even worth catching because, for one, it couldn't be shiny, 2, it's not useful, and its catch rate was so bad. It was almost impossible to catch unless you were using an Ultra Ball and a berry with it. It was atrocious. They really should have upped some of these catch rates for some of these more difficult to catch Pokemon. And another thing, going off on wild spawns as well, it felt like we had a lot of Community Day Pokemon featured in Pokemon Go Fest 2024. Like, we had Hoppip, we had Charmander, we had a whole lot more that I can't think of off the top of my head, but start, if you will, throw some up on the screen. But it felt like we had a lot of previous Community Day Pokemon actually spawning during this event, which I'm not too fond of because obviously I already have those shinies and I don't feel like catching the ones that I already have shinies of, you know what I mean? And sticking on the topic of Community Day Pokemon, a Pokemon that's going to get a future Community Day in June 2025 being Jangmo-o, being extremely hard to find in the wild. Like, I barely found any of them in the wild. It was terrible. Usually during Pokemon Go Fest, at least the last few years, they always feature a dragon type shiny that ends up getting a Community Day, like Goomy, Axew, Gibble, Dino, stuff like that. And they're usually pretty easy to find. Like, you can farm them and it's pretty easy to get the shiny early. Like, last year during Go Fest, I ended up getting 2 shiny Goomies before the Community Day. Like, it felt really good. But this one, for some reason, it was almost impossible to find the shiny Jangmo-o, which I do know for a fact. I know someone who got a Shundo, which I'm extremely jealous, and I'll take it. Give it to me. Hand it over. Trade it to me. But, I mean, I guess it's going to get a Community Day in June, so, like, it is what it is. Now, one thing that I regret spending money on is the 7-kilometer eggs. One of my favorite things about Pokemon Go Fest, usually, is the egg pools. These egg pools, I'm not saying the egg pulls were bad. The egg pull felt good. Like, it was some pretty rare Pokemon spawning. Like, you had Corsola. There's some pretty rare shinies. Fun fact of the day, actually. Hold on. I hatched my very first Larvesta during Pokemon Go Fest. Ever since it's released, I've never been able to get one. But I hatched 2 of them during Pokemon Go Fest, which blew my mind. I'm so happy about that. But overall, the egg pull spawns were actually semi-good. But as the fact of, we were supposed to get increased shiny odds, I hatched over 150 eggs since the start of basically the pre-Pokemon Go Fest 2024 event, to where we could actually get people with the tickets could actually get the event 7-kilometer eggs early, which I think was Monday or Tuesday. And since then until the end of the event on Sunday, I hatched over 150 eggs. Got 0 shinies. I don't know what the odds are, but it seemed terrible because hatching that many eggs, I feel like I should have gotten one by then. Speaking of terrible shiny odds, let's get into the 5-star raid shiny odds. I don't know what the official shiny odds were, but I will bet my entire life savings on it that they were not 1 in 20. I did, I think, close to 70 Necrozmas alone over the course of the weekend and got 1 shiny in the course of 70 raids. I probably did over 70 raids total because I ended up doing some Pheromosas, I ended up doing some Buzzwoles, some Zergatries, as you saw. I had the shiny Zergatry. I did over 70 raids and got 2 shinies. 60 of those raids were Necrozmas, and I got 1 shiny Necrozma. I don't know what the shiny rates were, but they were absolutely abysmal. I don't know what it was, or if it was just me. I feel like it wasn't just me, but it was not good. I don't know what it was, but it was just bad, like really bad. I guess I'm just lucky I got the 1. And then I had a buddy I had lined up with a lucky trade, so he ended up trading me a shiny Necrozma for a shiny Meltan, which his was better IVs than mine. You can't really get much worse, but like at least I have 2 for have the shinies in my actual inventory, so I guess it is what it is. Now, another thing as well is that on Sunday, the field research was absolutely terrible. Most of them were raid focused, where it's like win 1 raid, win 3 raids, something like that. And it was just giving candy for Necrozma or like revives. Like, it was not giving any encounters whatsoever. Like, it wasn't even worth doing field research on Sunday. Like, it was terrible. Like, we went from amazing field research that they gave us on Saturday to absolutely abysmal field research on Sunday. It was definitely a big change, and I did not like that. And another thing that I saw a lot of complaints about is the fact that fusion energy drops were super low compared to what the cost of a fusion actually was. You basically, if you are a free-to-play player, you could say goodbye to getting a Duskmane or a Dawnwings. You could just say goodbye to it, because essentially I think the drop rate was either between like 80 and 120 fusion energy per raid, and it took 1,000 fusion energy to fuse just one of them. So essentially you had to do about, on average, about 10 raids of each of them. That's 20 raid passes to get both fusions. And if you're a free-to-play player, chances are you don't have those raid passes. So they basically locked the fusions of Necrozma behind a paywall, which I'm not the biggest fan of that. I feel like it should have been a lot easier to get, but you know, it is what it is. Now, my biggest takeaways from Pokemon Go Fest 2024 is that Niantic can still make good events. Like, overall, this entire event, this entire weekend was so much fun. Like, I had an absolute blast playing Pokemon Go Fest. It was so much fun. It actually revived my willingness and my drive to actually play this game. Because I'll be completely honest, I was getting burnt out on it. I was on the verge of potentially quitting playing Pokemon Go, and also quitting obviously making content for Pokemon Go. But Pokemon Go Fest has just showed me again that Niantic is still capable of making good events. But speaking of the good events and stuff like that, it brought a lot of people out, which showed me that the Pokemon Go community aspect of it is the only reason why Pokemon Go is still alive. Niantic has been constantly making bad changes recently to the game that has been driving people away, but it's the community aspect of the game, like bringing everyone to events like this, that is the only reason why this game is still functional. If it wasn't for that, like, no one would play this game at all. in my opinion. Like, there's been a lot of bad changes recently, and I will actively say that, but the community, in my opinion, is the only reason why this game is still here. But speaking about the bad changes with Pokemon Go, we're going to talk about the remote raid pass limit. And one of the things that I think they need to do, they need to lift the remote raid pass limit. Either that or make it bigger. Don't limit it to 5. Maybe bring it up to 10, maybe 20 remote raid passes in a day. But also with doing that, they need to reduce the price. Like, it is just making it so inaccessible to do remote raids. It is so expensive. You're essentially, I believe the price is like $2.25 a remote raid pass. You're paying $2.25 for every single remote raid pass. I didn't do a whole lot of remote raiding. I maybe did like 5 or 6 total, and even then I felt like I was wasting it. Like, it was not worth it in any way, shape, or form. And I can't even imagine the people who were doing 20, 30, 40, 50 plus remote raids during Pokemon Go Fest, since there wasn't a limit on remote raiding. It absolutely just blows my mind. I know Niantic is making a lot of money right now from the remote raids, but like, I honestly feel like they would make a whole lot more if they reduce the price down to, let's say, even 150 or like 175 coins, and then increase the limit to either like 10 to 20, or completely got rid of the limit entirely. I feel like they would just make so much more money. And my final takeaway on Pokemon Go Fest 2024, and just Pokemon Go in general, is that I still thoroughly love this game. Like, I know I was saying earlier that I was on the verge of like quitting Pokemon Go and making content for this game, but like I said earlier, Pokemon Go Fest and everyone showing out and stuff like that really like rejuvenated my drive with this game. Like, I still thoroughly love this game. I just wish Niantic would, pardon my French, get their head out of their ass and actually start making some good changes to Pokemon Go and focus on the community. I feel like Niantic wants to be done making Pokemon. I feel like they want to move on to something of their own that isn't another licensed IP. I don't entirely know. I feel like it could be the Pokemon Company's choice to like limit like remote raiding and stuff like that, because I don't know. I'm just getting off on a tangent and doing stuff, so I'm not gonna go into all that. As a whole, Pokemon Go Fest, really solid event. Pretty good spawns as far as wild spawns go. It was great spawns, but it was kind of weighed down by the former Community Day Pokemon. The raids were great. I enjoyed the raids, minus the shiny rates. The shiny rates were god-awful. And honestly, I had a great community turnout. Like, we were having a group of like 20 to 30 people walking around doing raids on Sunday and Saturday. Like, it was great. Like, I know a lot of people don't have the community and like the opportunity that I do when playing the game, but overall, it still shows that the community is out and live with this game, which is really surprising to me. And I'm gonna rate this Pokemon Go Fest about like an 8 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good. The only like bad thing, like the things that really weigh this Pokemon Go Fest down, in my opinion, were the shiny rates and raids and the Community Day Pokemon that were spawning. And also the field research on Sunday. Those were the worst things, but you know, doesn't weigh it down too much. I still had a blast playing it, and I would do it all over again, honestly. Let me know down below what you guys actually thought about Pokemon Go Fest. I would love to hear your guys' experience on Pokemon Go Fest. And also, just so you guys know, I do have a Discord down below in the description. If you guys do want to join the community, I would greatly appreciate it. But without further ado, I'm gonna stop yapping. I appreciate you guys for watching. Be sure to drop a like, comment down below, and hit that sub button, as it is the greatest way to support my channel. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.